We always like to get started about 3 minutes late, and so we're right on time. I want to thank everybody for coming. We got a great turnout. The college offered a financial aid seminar this past weekend, and we have a better turnout than they did. So thank you for coming. I want to welcome our SSS students, our talent search students, and our Take Stock in Children students that are here. Going to be going over a lot of different things today. We've got a couple different representatives. The biggest thing, because you are here, you're getting the first crack at the Chipola College Foundation scholarships. Everybody else is probably going to have to wait till mid-March for that. You can get a leg up, get your stuff in, get it finalized, and hopefully get some extra money to help you. Okay, anybody got any questions before we get started? At the end, we'll talk a little bit about the FAFSA, which is the big thing with Pell money, and we've got some extra people in the room to help you with your FAFSA applications if you have any questions related to that. So if there's no questions, I'm going to now turn it over to Ms. Julie Fuquay, who is the director and the know-it-all of Chipola College Foundation.
Thank you. That's quite the title, I guess. Thank you. Thank you for letting me come talk to you today. Jock is correct that the blue ones may even still be warm. I mean, they're just off the copier to come over here. We're going to be sending them out to the high schools, hopefully by the beginning of next week, and on the website. So you are truly the first to have these in your hands. These are the updated lists for this year. The yellow and blue ones are done only one time a year. These are for fall and spring. So this is for next fall 2016. Start with the yellow one first. These are the ones that come through the foundation. There is one application for all of these. So there's some instructions on the front. When you open it up, you can see that there's just scholarships, and there's descriptions of each one. Some are specific by major, some are specific by what high school you went to, some are specific by maybe activities that you may have done in high school. Some are for graduating seniors, which if you're in this room, you're not a graduating senior. You're already here at Chipola, so you would be excluded from those, but there's only a few of those. On the back, the application. Again, if you see anything on this yellow list, when you read through it, if you're qualified for it, you fill out this one application, and it comes back to the foundation by June the 7th. It tells you you need a transcript, so you would need your Chipola transcript. But since the deadline is in June, you have to wait till your spring grades come out, because if you turn it in tomorrow, then you only have your fall grades. The deadline's not till June. It's not first come, first served. So please wait for your spring grades to come out before you turn it in. You can go ahead and do your letter and do your letters of recommendation, but wait on your spring grades to come out. And you print it from the Chipola website where you check your grades, so it doesn't have to be an official one that you go to the registrar's office and get. You can print it for us right off of the Chipola website. If you've been to other colleges, same thing. Just print us out a transcript from your other colleges you may have attended. Or if you have less than 24 college hours, then we also need your high school transcript. And since you're all already a student at Chipola, it would be your final transcript when you graduated. But if you have other friends that are just high school seniors now, then they can turn in a high school transcript that's through December, through the semester, because at June, many of them won't have their final transcripts ready. But for all of you, if you have less than 24 hours, then give us your high school transcript and your Chipola or any other college work you may have. And it asks, yes ma'am?
Does the other college have to be an official transcript?
They can all be copies, it's fine.
Okay.
A letter about yourself, maybe your major, what activities you may do, church, community activities, school activities, what you want the scholarship committee to know about you. The more you tell them in the letter about your situation, your circumstances, that's what they'll know, because they don't get to do an interview with you. So what you do in your letter is what they're going to know about you. Make sure that you don't eat French fries and lay them down on the letter, or that somebody colors on the letter. I mean, all of that are real circumstances. They've happened. And make sure to do spell check, because a lot of times, if there's big errors in the letter, they're going to say, my goodness, they don't need scholarship money. They can't even write a nice letter. So just be careful when you write the letter, because it's a representation of yourself, and it's really your interview with the scholarship committee. And then the last thing you need are 2 letters of recommendation. It doesn't have to be from teachers, principals, it can be from an employer, it can be from a family friend, someone that can say nice things about you, that you would be a good candidate for a scholarship because. And you need the 2 letters to go with it. So finish the application, your letter, your transcript, and your 2 letters of recommendation. And there's the second page that just you fill out for your GPA, high school and college work, and number of hours. And then this page are just some questions that help answer some of the criteria that's in the scholarships about are you full-time, part-time, your major, that kind of thing. So the application is not complicated. Just ask you general questions and then you make the attachments. This comes back to the foundation by June the 7th. The blue list looks very much like the yellow list, same kind of idea that where they explain each scholarship, all the different criteria, but these go off campus. Different committees are going to look at these. So what I recommend you do is you go through and maybe just in the margin put a check mark by everyone you think you're qualified for. And again, there's all over the map about some are specific by county, by high school, by major, by activities. You just go through and check them off. And then on the back is this application. But you have to have a complete set of information for each scholarship you want to apply for. So if you found 5 in this package that you think you met the qualifications for, then don't fill in the top where it says scholarship, leave that blank. Go through and write your name, address, fill out all of this information, and then go make 4 more copies of it. And then on each of the copies write in Mariana Rotary Club, Mariana Kiwanis, Chipola Kiwanis, whatever you're trying to apply for. And then, same thing, you need the same kind of transcript situation you did with the yellow one, your Chipola one and your high school if you have less than 24 hours, or just your college ones if you have more than 24 hours. That same letter, so if you saved it on the computer when you wrote it, then I print out another copy of it, and then same 2 letters of recommendation. It's okay to copy those, but it also looks nice that if you tell the person that I'm applying for 4 scholarships, do you mind giving me 4 original letters? That looks best, but I know there's sometimes certain situations people are busy or they're not willing to do the letterhead or whatever. You can make copies of them, it's fine, but the originals do look better. So you make a complete stack of information for each scholarship, and then you mail it to wherever it says in the instructions. A few of these have different deadlines than June the 7th, but it will say in bold what the deadline might be and where to mail it. Some of them do come back to the foundation, but it's only because they're going to sit in a stack and someone's going to come pick them up. They just wanted it to be a drop-off point in the foundation. So you have to have a complete stack for each scholarship you want to apply for on here. Again, these are done one time of year. If you received an award, you would be notified generally probably mid-July, and it would be for fall, spring. So if it was for $1,000, that's the total award. Or sometimes it'll say $1,000, $500 for fall, $500 for spring. It just depends on how the scholarship is set up, how the award is done. But yellow and blue are one time a year. The pink that you have is the McLennan Educational Trust Scholarship. This one is the one done by the semester. So if you're going to come summer 1, there's a deadline down here for summer 1 that's March 15th. Summer 2 is May 16th, and fall semester is June the 7th. You must fill out a separate one of these for each semester you're applying for because it's a different section of money for each semester. This one looks at financial need as well as merit. So it's similar kind of situation. You fill out the scholarship, you have to have the same letter about yourself. But in this one, you don't have the letters of recommendations, but you do have to have your income tax return for your whole household. So if you're coming summer 1 and that deadline is in March, that's before your IRS tax filing deadline. So you can use your 2014 or your 15 tax return for summer 1. But the summer 2 deadline in May is after the IRS filing deadline, so then you'll have to have your 2015 income tax. So, okay, you live at home with your parents. Your parents filed income tax and you work separately and you filed also. So we would have copies of both of them. So you have to have proof of income and expenses for the whole household. Because the second page is again about the transcript where you just fill in your number of hours and your GPA. The next page is where your financial information goes, and it asks for the whole household's income, which is the amount that will be on your tax returns. And then it asks for your expenses, and it's just an estimate. So it asks for like your housing. So it would be your house payment or your rent multiplied by 12, and you fill that in. Your utilities, so you estimate that it's $100 a month times 12. Figure that number in, and then you add them all up. We're not going to Florida Public Utilities or West Florida Electric to pull your bill to see if you're adding it up right. It needs to be an estimate, but it needs to be a realistic estimate. So if your income in your household is $30,000 and your expenses are $50,000, they'll say, the scholarship committee will say, well, there's a problem. They have a $20,000 deficit. They haven't been truthful on here. Something's not right. But if your income is $30,000 and your expenses are $29,999, that's probably realistic, that we all don't have a whole lot of money left over. So when you fill it out, think about what you're doing and make sure that it makes sense, because the scholarship committee is going to make decisions based on that, and it needs to be realistic. And if your income is greater than your expenses are greater than your income, then you better attach something that explains that you had $10,000 in savings and that made up the difference, or something, so that they understand what the situation is. If there are food stamps, Social Security, or any kind of other income, that goes up here, and you have to submit proof of that as well. And then it asks you if you're receiving Pell and work study. The biggest thing with this is that some questions aren't answered. If they're incomplete or numbers don't add up, the scholarship committee, there's only one shot, that it has to be complete, it has to be accurate, it has to add up, because if they have questions about it, they can't just bring you in and see you. It just goes in the other stack, because this is competitive and there's a lot of money to award. But if it's not complete and not accurate, they can't consider it, and they just go to the next ones in the stack. At the end, they give them a score, and they have descending order. So the ones with the highest merit and need scores all the way to the bottom, and then they divide the money on that same list. So some semesters it will be very competitive. Others, summer, there's maybe not as many students sometimes. It just depends on the semester. So not everybody gets funded, not all of them are complete, but it is a good source by the semester that you can apply. But you have to reapply each semester that you want to look for funding. Okay, that's what we have, hot off the press. Happy to answer, happy to help students fill out applications, but don't wait till the deadline day. Because when you come in on deadline day and you're missing a paper and it's home in Bonifay, you're out of luck. So do not wait till the day or the day before the deadline, because we're swamped with people trying to turn in things, and you can't stop and help people find papers or find numbers. So come in well before the deadline. Happy to help, happy to answer questions. These are in the foundation if you need more or have friends. They'll be on the website probably next week when they have time to put them on there for us. Any questions today? Okay, well, good luck to you, and we'll be happy to help any way we can.
Okay, before you go to graduation,
Yes.
how much money did the foundation give out last year?
600 and, I'd have to look up that number if I know you were going to ask me. 600 and some odd $1,000. It was a lot of money. For a school our size, we are very fortunate that we've had a lot of community support and families and alumni and friends of the college that have set up endowments and fund scholarships. So for a school Chipola size, that is a large number. And we're very thankful, and you all are very fortunate to have that kind of resource. But it was over $600,000.
Thank you.